Mm-hmm.
but now you get to do all these other side passion projects like your Palaman Purveyors. Okay, sorry, I was like running, so I'm
No
totally out of
worries.
breath. But aloha, everybody. It's me, Annalisa Burgos. We are doing another fabulous FYLPRO Fridays. And as you can see from my guest's background, we are having an Aloha style Friday today. Happy Aloha Friday. Randy Cortez is joining us. And so we're going to have our chismisan about all the good things that he's working on. So I know you're an attorney and you also do a lot of securities, legal work, as well as some dabbled in some immigration rights stuff. And now you're an entrepreneur, right? So
Yes, yes.
lots
Thanks
to
for
dive
inviting me,
into.
Annalisa.
Yeah. Tell us, so give us just a quick update. What
Mhm.
class you were with FYLPRO and what have you been doing ever since?
Okay, so FilPro, wow, it's been a while. I think I was in the second batch, so 2013.
Wow, that's like OG.
Yeah, right after Kit Furukawa, right after her. So it was still in the building stages. It was still very new. Not a lot of people knew about it, but it was a very interesting time to participate and engage with the other Filipino American leaders.
Yeah, at the time, gosh, it seemed like well, obviously we met Conja and Emil Fernandez, right? Who was he
Mhm.
was actually his brainchild, right? He was telling us when we
Oh
met him.
yeah, yeah,
Did you know
that
that?
was crazy.
Did
I
you
did
meet him?
not. I
Okay.
did. Yeah, yeah. Thank him for the great food. Yeah, yeah, really good. I went home very stuffed, very satisfied.
And just the fact that, this is a program that you participated in
Hmm.
that early on, like the second batch, and then meeting the guy who actually helped Ambassador Quisha bring that to life. I mean, it's amazing. How did it actually change your experience? Because you've been really active in Filipino communities already.
I was, well, let me give you a bit of my background. I was born in the Philippines in Ilocos Sur. As you know, majority of the population here is Ilocano, and you hear it spoken everywhere. So I came here when I was 5, and I didn't know what it was like to be a Filipino American or American for that matter. So I got teased, I got bullied a lot for my language. I couldn't really speak English, right? So that was very traumatic, and I chose to put that to the side in order to conform and fit to the American lifestyle, and I just forgot about my culture. It wasn't until college I took a Filipino culture class that I was born again Filipino, and I started to become more active in the culture here. I joined the Filipino Chamber of Commerce, the Filipino JCs, then the Hawaii Filipino Chamber of Commerce, the more senior organization, and from there other organizations, and which culminated in FilPro.
Well, so my question, and we talked about this also in some of the FilPro meetings we've had, is why is it that there's bullying of the Filipinos that
Hmm.
come to Hawaii, the immigrants? Like, what
Hmm.
is that? Where does that come from?
I'm not too sure. I mean, I would be curious to find out what your experiences are on the mainland because I know you hail from was it LA, Los
Yes,
Angeles?
yeah. So I'm from Cali,
Hmm. Hmm.
and
And you didn't experience this kind of bullying or teasing over
well,
there?
no, but again, I'm from the other side. So I was born in LA.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
I
Hmm.
actually wasn't born in the Philippines, and I don't
Hmm.
know if I did meet several Filipinos who, we used to call them fresh off the boat,
Mm,
right?
F
Just like that.
FOBs.
Yes,
Yeah,
FOBs, and
the TV show.
obviously Well, obviously now
Yeah.
it became a TV show that ran for a while. Actually, one of my friend's sons was the main character, the boy.
Oh, no
I never
way.
actually saw that
Okay.
show. So full disclosure, I saw some snippets of it,
Uh-huh.
but I never really watched it. But I know that a lot of people felt that the story resonated with them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So to answer your question, I think it's it's a gray area. It's more black and white because I believe it stems from the plantation, the early days of Hawaii, from the plantation unto now, because there were different plantation camps for the different ethnicities, and Filipinos were one of them. And
Mm.
because we were one of the later groups, our differences in culture compared to the other ethnicities, such as the Japanese or Chinese and even the Portuguese, just didn't vibe with them. And there's always been a pretty strong immigration of Filipinos to the US, especially here in Hawaii. And when you see the differences between the local born Filipinos and the native born Filipinos, there's a stark difference. There's a contrast. And from a psychological mindset or perspective, I think the local born Filipinos don't want to be associated with this other, this thing that they don't understand, that they don't know. And everyone else, here, all the other locals, they believe the stereotypes that go with it. And so there's this tension that goes on, and the local Filipinos don't want to be, recognized in this group with the other, native Filipinos. So that's where the teasing and I think the bullying comes in, unfortunately.
Actually, that makes a lot of sense because in California, where I was, and I'm from SoCal, like LA,
Hmm.
and I grew up in like historic Filipino town.
Oh,
Even,
nice.
yeah, even though that's
Stockton, right?
gone now. Now it's like Carson. But
Carson, okay.
it used to be this area right near downtown LA.
Hmm.
Actually, they just put in a gateway, like a historic Filipino town
The
sign in this
arch, yeah,
area.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
That one of our alumni, Jessica Caloza, was part of
Nice.
bringing. So yeah, I grew up in an area that was predominantly Filipino.
Hmm.
And my elementary school was predominantly Filipino. My teachers were Filipino, like from the Philippines, you
No
know?
way.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Okay.
I think that's why my experience may have been a little bit more different
Hmm. Hmm.
because even though I was born in LA, I was surrounded by the Filipino community. So I felt like I was already kind of part of it. And, I was very aware of my culture. I was already proud of the culture.
Okay, I
So
see.
maybe that's why it's a little bit different when my upbringing. But for you, obviously, I've seen people that express the same bullying that you've expressed, where, if they have accents, right? Because obviously you come from a
Oh
different
yeah.
country,
Oh
you're going to
yeah.
have a different accent. And people, I would witness people making fun of them, and I would, obviously I would try my best to kind of defend and speak up and things because I'm not a shy person, but it's hard for people that are, experiencing that bullying and that, like you said, that culture, because to me, I think it's also kind of a insecurity for that local person. Like, say, for example, I was born in the US, but I was maybe insecure because I'm trying to assimilate with white culture,
Oh yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
So maybe I don't want the quote white person in the room to compare me with you who is from the Philippines versus
Hmm.
someone like me who was born in the US. I don't know. That's kind of what I thought.
Yeah, I think it just boils down to everyone just wanting to fit in. And to fit in, I mean, you
Because we're
gotta,
all the other. We're all
yeah,
the other.
othered, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a very interesting time in my life, and going through that experience, being enrolled in the ESL, or English as a Second Language class, just kind of deepened my dislike of my culture, because I was
Mm.
thinking, why was I in this other class with three or four others who no one really wanted to hang out with when I could be there with everyone else? And so that pushed me, that motivated me to excel, in school, and
And
here
look
I
at you
am.
now.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's great that you were so involved that you had this born again Filipino
Yeah, yeah.
renaissance. You
Oh,
went
your
back to the
Renaissance.
Philippines. So after you came here from the Philippines, you hadn't gone back until FilPro, or you had gone back?
I had gone back I think twice. The first
Okay.
time when I was 12, 13 years old, that was a supernatural experience. So I'm not sure if I should disclose, my
You
experiences
can
there.
supernatural if you want, whatever you feel comfortable with. What happened?
So yeah, I mean, you may have heard about spirits and ghosts and things like that, but this is where it
Oh.
comes from. Basically, so before I moved here, one of my aunties was basically my second mom,
Mhm.
right? And when I moved here, I had stopped contact with her. I barely communicated with her. When I found out she died a few years later, my mom told me there was a funeral going on for her, but I couldn't go because of school. So I stayed here, and a few years after that, that's when I decided to go back. But I made the mistake of not paying my respects to her, going to a cemetery or just asking for forgiveness. And so one night I was sleeping in a room in the house right in front of where she used to live, right?
Uh-huh.
And I think it was like around midnight or early morning, wee hours, 1, 2 a.m. I could feel the temperature of the room just like rising up, even though just, an
Oh
hour
my God, you're
earlier it
giving
was
me
very
chicken
cold.
skin.
Yeah, yeah. So the temperature of the room was just rising. It was like over 100 degrees, and I could feel something was there in the room. So I took my blanket, right, and I covered myself, hoping that it would just all go away. But it didn't. And I was forced to, look over the blanket to see what was going on. I looked up, and can you believe it? There was my auntie just like floating in the air
Oh my God.
with, beams of white light radiating, from behind her. And she was pointing her finger at me like this, scolding me. She said, "You didn't visit me, even though I took care of you," basically
Oh.
scolding me. And I said, "I'm sorry, I had school, I couldn't go." And then that's when she touched me on the face, right?
Uh-huh.
And I woke up. But when I woke up, I felt like my throat was on fire. I had a very bad headache. I felt disoriented. I had vertigo. I didn't know what was going on. So I got up, went outside. I went to the courtyard, and, there were dogs there just lying down, right? The day before, they were very friendly to me. Like I would go and pat them on the head.
Hmm.
But when they saw me that morning, they rose up suddenly and they were barking at me, very ferocious, as if they wanted to just like rip off my throat or my head. Maybe they knew they had a sixth sense or something that there was an evil spirit, inside of me, and that's what happened.
Oh
So I
my
went to the other
God.
house where my mom was and my younger sister, and in fact, my younger sister, she also didn't go to the funeral. We were the two oldest, and I could tell that she was also, sick like me. My auntie also visited her earlier that day, like that night. So we couldn't sleep. We were very sickly. The more medicine we took, the more sickly we became, to the point where we were just bedridden.
Oh
So
wow.
finally, one of the elders, the village elders, told us you should visit this mangkukulam, or this witch doctor high up in the mountains. And so we had no choice. Nothing else was working. So we did. We went into the mountains, saw her, and when she came out of her bamboo looking house, right, she was hunchback and only had one eye, and she looked like trouble. And we're like,
Wow.
okay, well, let's try this. So what she did was she took one egg, right, and she basically floated it around our bodies. She cracked the egg into a cup, and guess what came out of that egg?
What?
It was a black yolk. Crazy, right?
That's so creepy. Oh my God.
That's
And
what
so that means
happened.
the spirit was in the
Was
egg.
was was inside us, because the
Uh-huh.
egg was an indicator of the evil spirit possessing us inside of me and my sister.
Oh my God.
So the witch doctor, the Mangkukulam, she said, okay, something evil is inside of you. This is what you need to do. You need to go home. You need to take a very hot shower, but don't dry yourself off. Just put the towel over you and then wipe yourself off after like 10 minutes or so. Then you light a candle, burning candle. You cut off a piece of your hair, right? You put it on a spoon, and then you cook your hair over that candle, and then you eat it.
Wha-
You eat the hair that you had just
This isn't an
cooked over
April
the
Fool's
candle.
joke, is it?
No, it's not.
Are you
It's not.
totally joking with me, Randy?
No, no, no.
Oh my God.
It's not. So
That's
we
so
did that. We followed
creepy.
everything,
Okay.
and we went to sleep. Next thing you know, very next morning, it's as if nothing ever happened. We were 100% healthy.
Wow. That's crazy. Did you
Yeah,
believe in that stuff before you went?
a little bit, but I didn't personally experience it.
So now you believe,
Yes,
obviously.
I do.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so honestly, like that stuff, I don't mess with that stuff. The supernatural, like there's lots of powers in this universe that we don't understand. So, well, now you know to respect your elders all the time.
Yes, respect your elders. Yeah. Yes,
But
definitely.
that's good. At least, these are the cultural things that a lot of us maybe have heard of, but didn't really experience. And, it's even though it may have been a traumatic experience at the time, I mean, it brought you closer to the culture
Hmm.
in a way. Yeah.
It did.
So,
It
and
did.
then
So
now
that,
you're, sorry, go ahead.
oh, sorry, that was my first trip back since I immigrated here. And my second trip, it was through UH, the
Mhm.
University of Hawaii at Manoa Filipino program. It was a study abroad program in 2008. It was the AFAP Advanced Filipino Abroad Program, 3-month immersion program where selected students would go there to learn the language and come back and, almost be kind of fluent. So that's what
Are you
happened.
fluent in Ilocano now?
Konti lang, konti lang.
Oh, tell us a sample.
Ah, ako si Randy Cortez. Gustong gusto ko ang pinagbit.
That sounds like Tagalog.
But it was Tagalog,
Oh, I thought you
not
learned,
not
but you're
Ilocano.
from Ilocos, right?
I'm
So
from
you should,
Ilocos,
so
yes.
you can speak Ilocano too.
Basit laing.
And what does that mean? Sorry, I don't speak
Konti lang
Ilocano.
basically.
Ah,
Basit is like konti. Laing is like lung. So there's
ah,
similarities there.
okay,
Yeah.
cool. Well, like I said, it's nice that you experienced that reconnection with your culture, and I think so many people can relate to that. So,
Mhm.
so what kind of I guess community service or things that you've been working on now? I mean, you had so many. I just looked at your bio that you had so many things that you worked on before. So, what are
Mhm.
some of your projects now?
Oh, right now I'm personally involved with a nonprofit organization. You may have heard of them. It's called the Techniclings.
Mm.
They're the Filipino dance group, and it was the brainchild of Gabriel Torno or Gabe Torno. He had an idea to create a nonprofit that helped to educate the community about Philippine culture through music and dance. And that's what we did before we perform at the talent shows at UH, University of Hawaii, and now we're a nonprofit. We hold tinikling workshops, and there's actually one this coming Saturday. So if you have kids or if you personally know someone who has kids who want to learn the tinikling, then we can definitely do that. It will be on Zoom. Just let me know and I can send you the link or even put it on the FYLPRO website.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you're doing all of these sessions via Zoom now. Did it used to be in person?
It used to be in person. We used to have a studio, a small studio in Kamuki, but because of the pandemic and everything going on, even though it is on the decline, we still want to wait and see what happens next. So just to
Yeah.
be on the safe side, err on this on the side of caution than through video.
So how do you teach tinikling without the bamboo sticks? Do you have to just draw lines?
You can do that. Actually,
Yeah.
you can put like, masking tape on the floor. You can have
Mhm.
PVC pipes just laid out on the floor. And it's a beginner's
Oh,
class.
that's so cool. So
So
Saturday, what time?
Saturday, I believe 11 to 12. I can
Okay.
provide you details later and also the Zoom link. The workshop will be led by Gabe Torno.
Okay.
It lasts
Yeah,
about
that's
an hour
cool.
or so. So he teaches the basic steps, the side to side, and then he goes on to more advanced steps like the up rock and then the back up rock and then the spin. It's very fun.
Okay. And is that a weekly thing or is this just every once in a while?
We just started up recently, so it's for about a month or two, and we try to do it, every quarter or so.
Mhm, mhm. And it's free.
It's free. It's free.
Wow.
And you get a
Okay.
free t-shirt, I believe, at the very end when you complete everything.
So you have to pass a test. You have to be able
Sure.
to do tinikling
Sure.
without getting your ankle like
Oh,
smashed.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Have you danced the tinikling or any other dances?
I learned it. So I went to UCLA and I was a part of
Mm.
Samahang Filipino.
Hmm. Hmm.
So we always had Filipino culture night, right?
Hmm.
So I would every year, I did it every year I was there and I had a different dance. So gosh, it was so long ago. So that was like 20 more than 20 years ago.
No
And
way, you still
like
look so young.
I know. I love it. Thank you, Filipino jeans. But no, I'm super old. But yeah, so that's why I can't really remember that. I know one of them was the igorot. I did igorot.
Okay, okay. Was
Yeah.
that the
And
dance
then
where you go like this or
it's
whatever?
the one with the bahag. It's the
Yes,
one where
that
the
one.
men
Okay,
with the
yeah, yeah,
bahag.
yeah.
But we would do, yeah, it's a lot of flicking. It
Yeah,
looks like this.
flicking like
Yeah,
this.
it's like
Yeah,
this.
it's to imitate the bird or something. I
Yeah, I
forget.
think so.
Yeah,
Right. I'm
yeah.
horrible. I need a refresher. I need a refresher on my. This is why the tinikling is awesome. And so
Yes, yes.
I learned a little bit of the tinikling, but I never was at the level of performance. There's always, those other dancers that were really like, wow,
Oh,
right?
oh yeah, they got the
Yeah.
natural talent, or they've just been doing it for so long.
Yeah. But I joined it to learn the culture and for
Hmm.
the camaraderie, right? Because you obviously are part of not just, like you said, Filipinos who are from the Philippines who are, showing their pride, but also Philams that have never been exposed to Filipino culture. And so
Hmm.
this is
Hmm.
like a fun way. Like obviously, because you're part of that group.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
and it really I think for a lot of people, especially in college, that's when they really get that appreciation for how amazing the culture is with music and art and dance and yeah, so
So much stuff. I just wish I got exposed to that at an earlier age, and other people too at an earlier age.
yeah. Is there a high school program that you work with? Is there something that you do in elementary schools? Because that
Not
would be
right now.
wonderful. Like my
Oh
kids
yeah.
are at elementary school.
Which school do they go to?
They're at Hokulani.
Okulani.
Yeah, it's right
Okay.
next to Manoa. It's right next to UH,
Oh,
actually.
it's next to the basketball court, right?
Well, I guess it's like
The park.
it's
There's a
between
park next to it.
Chaminade. Yeah, yeah, it's between Chaminade and UH.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
Very
if
nice.
there was a program, where, like Tiniklings or,
Mm-hmm.
if you
Mm-hmm.
guys actually visit schools to do that, that would be amazing. I mean, obviously they do it with Hawaiian culture. So
Mm-hmm.
they teach hula, they teach the language, olelo, they teach all this stuff. But if there's a way to bring Filipino culture to some of these schools, at least the ones with large Filipino populations, right?
Oh yeah, Farrington,
Yeah.
Waipahu,
So do they
Campbell.
have, I'm guessing they would have one, right, at Farrington?
There's a Filipino American club, I think, or a Filipino club, or an Ilocano club. I'm not too sure, but I'm not sure if they go over the music and dance aspect or
Mm.
into the curriculum.
Yeah, because that's important. And actually, so I was talking to everyone who's listening who may not be from Hawaii, Manang Amy Agbayani is one of our pioneers of
Mm-hmm.
equality and for Filipino culture and
Mm-hmm.
advocacy here. She was telling me about that new curriculum, right? That they're introducing. There's a Filipino curriculum that they're introducing in schools, or I don't know. She
Oh,
was telling me about,
interesting.
yeah, and I need to research a little bit more about it. But there's really a movement to at least in our, especially in our I say country, in our state where there's a lot of
Yeah. Oh,
Filipino
yeah.
people. It's
Mm-hmm.
good to have some sort of basic knowledge, right?
Oh,
So
yeah. Beneficial, and to prevent the bullying and the teasing
yes.
that everyone else goes through.
Is it still a thing?
Oh,
Have
yeah.
you, yeah? Is it still
Yeah.
as bad
If
as when you were young?
it may be worse if you just search on YouTube school fights, then you'll see fights. You can tell it's between locals and natives. It's
Wow,
very unfortunate.
wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad. And
Hmm.
is it just because of the need to fit in or the
Oh, yeah.
discrimination?
Hmm. It's just there's misinformation going on with the stereotypes, misperceptions of how people act, how they speak, when we should all just be respectful of each other, and just be one ohana, as they say here.
Yeah. Well, so in your experience with all the community work that you do, and obviously I don't know if there's any legal application to this stuff, what can be done? Is there anything that can be done to kind of address that so it doesn't, get worse or at least stop the cycle?
Well, whatever we're doing right now helps with the nonprofits, with the other organizations that educate the public, like Technic Links. They show Filipinos, local and non-local, that there is something to be proud of. There is something to appreciate in the culture, and just having a Filipino and Philippine literature program, and also an Ilocano language and literature program at the University of Hawaii helps to foster this unity, and help to reduce the misunderstanding that goes on.
Hmm. And I think also it helps to have mentors
Oh, yeah,
and role
definitely.
models, right? Because I
Hmm.
think, I don't know about you, when you were growing up, were there prominent Filipino leaders that were, I guess, speaking about this, or I
Hmm.
don't know, raising awareness? Because like I told you, like
Hmm.
in my society or where I grew up, there was Filipino leaders. Like I was
Hmm.
teachers and activists, and I was
Hmm.
always surrounded around that. So I don't
Hmm.
know if you here
Hmm.
have that.
Not from what I recall. I only remember Ben Cayetano. He was a governor at the time,
Mm,
first Filipino American governor in the whole nation. But no one really. I wasn't aware of anyone until I got to college.
mm. That's what we need, I think, maybe to highlight some of the more grassroots Filipino leaders, right? Because obviously Ben is at a level, right, at the higher level, but maybe the ones who are in the day to day.
Yeah, we need to make it more mainstream, and having Filipino-owned businesses that pull from Filipino culture and have Filipino concepts, that definitely helps. So with our business, Palaman Purveyors, we are
Yeah.
selling jams that are Filipino inspired, pandan, ube, and mais queso, or corn cheese.
Yes, and I personally was able to
How
buy
was that?
some and try it. Oh my God, it was so good. I gave some to my mom. So,
Okay,
I bought those two and I had one
okay.
for myself and I gave one to my mom and she enjoyed it. So we loved it.
Oh, so Nana gave the thumbs up.
Yeah, obviously when you get the elders to like it,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah,
that means
yeah.
it's good. So how's that going? I know, well,
Hmm.
obviously you and your wife are doing that together as your passion
Oh,
project.
she's my girlfriend at this time.
Oh, I'm
But
sorry. I upgraded her to your wife.
uh, in the future,
Girlfriend,
in due
girlfriend.
time, in due time.
There's no announcement right now. Happy April Fool's Day. But how's
Oh
that
man, my
going?
heart's beating.
Sorry.
I think she's listening in right
She's
now
watching.
and watching. Yeah, yeah, yeah. In
Um,
due time, I can tell her in due time. Let's not rush it. There's God's plan.
oops. Now you're turning red.
Oh, it's the sun. It's the sun, right?
It's a sun. Yeah, it's a sun from there.
It's
Yeah.
it's going
So
really well, really well. In fact, we just started towards the tail end of the pandemic in November 2021, but only recently, past month or so, did we start to actively start selling our products. We have our own website for everyone there listening in, watching, palamanpurveyors.com. We have those three flavors that I mentioned, pandan ube and mais queso. You can get them in the large jars or sampler trio, small jars. We're experimenting with halo halo as a flavor. We think we have an understanding of that, and also banana lumpia and just other items like I think you saw the waffle
yeah.
idea that I sent to you. So ube filled waffles, pandan filled waffles, and many others. So it's limitless. The
That's
sky's the limit.
awesome. So
Mhm.
wait, you're doing it, is it only available in Hawaii right now though? Or are you shipping?
In We are still trying to work on shipping to the mainland.
Okay.
Fortunately, we have friends on the mainland who have, arrived here for a day or two, and we provide them with a large order, and they take that to, our other friends like in Phoenix, or hopefully in California, Oregon, Washington, but still in the process. We do serve the other islands, but again, it is limited. We have friends who come here on Oahu and they take it back. We're still trying to work on that, but we'll keep everyone posted about that.
Yes. So you can follow them on Instagram, right?
Mhm.
Palaman
At
Purveyors.
Palaman Purveyors, yes. So
Okay.
Palaman means spread or filling in Filipino, and purveyors, it gives us that artisanal or artistic flair. We're
Cool.
very, artistic in the way that we make our jams and other products.
I love it. And like I said, I can vouch it's good. I'm a big proponent of food entrepreneurs, especially when it's promoting our culture, our history.
Mhm,
And there is a good group of people that are already doing these types of things here in
mhm.
Hawaii. So that's nice. You guys can make a little co-op and promote yourselves and work together. I know Lalaine, have you worked with
Oh
Lalaine's
yeah,
group?
Lalaine. I was going to mention her from Pusong
Yeah.
Filipinx. She and her organization have an event, right, in April
Mm-hmm.
23rd, and hopefully we can, outreach to the community through that event. We did reach out to her and ask her to be a vendor, and fortunately they approved. So we'll be there. Look out for us. We'll have a booth.
Good.
Yes,
Is
yes.
it Bishop Museum still? I know she had some there.
No, it's at Farrington High School on
Okay.
the 23rd,
Okay.
Saturday 23rd from 10 to 4 with everyone else.
Okay, good. Yeah, so I've seen several of her events. She has these regularly where
Mhm.
she promotes local vendors.
Oh
So
yeah. Thank you to
yeah,
her, Lelaine and Pusong Filipinx. Really fortunate to have a good group of organizations here.
yeah. And that's the way to get people, right? It's like through their stomachs.
Oh
With hearts and
yeah.
through their stomachs.
Yeah. You
But
live nearby. You should stop by with your family, your
I
kids.
will. Well,
Yeah.
I usually, it's because I used to work on the weekends, right? I used to
Hmm.
anchor the weekend morning. So I could never go to these events because I was always
Hmm.
working.
Hmm.
But no, I definitely will have to try it out. Wait, you said it was from 10. It's like
10
during the
to
day.
4. Yes,
I might be
yes.
able to make it this
Yeah.
this time around. So maybe
Mhm.
we'll have to do a story about it.
Oh, that would be
Yeah.
good. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, get
Get
some
some
get some
exposure.
coverage about the community. Yeah, I love it. I'm into it. But see how fast, Randy, this goes. We're already like 30 minutes in. This is
Oh
our
my God.
show, our Chismisan. It goes by fast.
Okay.
But I love, we had it was a good discussion about the issues, that we as Filipinos and Filipino Americans base. And was there, okay, in our last minute or so, is there any other pressing message or issue or anything you want to raise? I know we talked about entrepreneurship and, you know, schools, education, community, anything else?
Oh, one thing, I got the times wrong. Arlen
Oh,
told
okay, there
me
you go. Confirm
it's
it.
from 12 to 4, not from 10. 10 is when we, the vendors, set up. So 12 to 4. So thank you. There's just so many
Well,
things to keep track of.
you have to be there early. So 12, okay,
Mhm,
12 noon at Farrington.
mhm.
And I'm sure we'll share the flyer. We always like promote, I know we always promote it on our FYLPRO
Yeah.
also.
So don't eat lunch, don't eat breakfast, don't eat lunch. Bring your empty stomach with you and cash or card, Venmo.
Yeah.
We take all kinds of payment.
Yeah, support. The big thing is supporting our local businesses, our entrepreneurs, you know, doing some good stuff here in the islands. Yeah, and hopefully we can see you one day on the mainland.
Oh yeah.
Costco. The
Costco.
Costco is the place to be, right? Then you know you've made it,
Yeah.
although you have to be able to meet the demand.
When are you going back to LA to visit?
Oh, not for a while. But I'll take a
Oh.
bunch for you.
Oh yeah, yeah. That and like I don't know if you could give us a tour, where Arlen and I are foodies. So if you know good foodie spots there, like Filipino
Oh
restaurants or
yeah.
whatever.
When are you guys going?
I don't know. I think the prices are up a little,
I
elevated right
know.
now. Yeah.
Because things have pretty much opened up now and we're coming on summer
Mm-hmm.
vacation.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
things are not as cheap as they were right
Mm-hmm.
before.
Mm-hmm.
So but anyway, Randy, I'm so glad that we got to have this chismisan. It's always good to catch up with you, and congrats to your, new business. We put it out in the universe. Support our local businesses like Palaman Purveyors.
Yes. Maraming salamat po, Annalisa, for everything and great opportunity talking to you. I've always heard about you, but never really got to know you, in person until
Now we
now.
made that
Yeah.
connection. Now, and if you
Yeah.
ever need anything, let me know, because again, it's part of our storytelling, right? We
Mm-hmm.
always are trying to increase awareness about the good things that are happening in our communities, and we never really get a chance to do it because we're always focused on the breaking news or
Oh,
the
yeah.
sad
Yeah.
news.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime that we can celebrate our successes, I am all for it. So, and if you need to reach Randy, remember you can find him on social medias also. Ask him some questions.
Thank you. When is
Um,
the next Chismisan and who's gonna be
who
featured? Do you
is going
know?
to be? Oh, it's going to be Steven Raga.
Oh,
You know
okay. Yeah,
Steven?
yeah. Heard about Steven. Yeah, yeah. Great guy. I met
Yes.
him, I think, once or twice.
Yeah, he's in New York, and he's going to be obviously okay, so this is an example of the sad stuff.
Hmm.
All of those violent acts that are
Oh my
happening,
God. Yeah,
anti-Asian hate, and
yeah,
the fact that a lot of them are Filipinos.
yeah.
So
Tragic.
there was just a couple the other day, a couple of old lolos that were
Yeah,
beat.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so his will be a little bit more serious because he's doing a lot of activism and discussion about anti-hate crimes. So, but yes, that is next Friday.
Right. I'll be sure to tune in. Thank you.
Yes. Thanks, Randy, and I will see you soon.
Oh yeah. Hopefully we can go to Pacific Club again.
Let's do it. Or
Let's
no,
talk congen.
I'll see you for sure at the
The
Lalane's
event.
event.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Aloha,
All right.
everybody.
Yeah. Thanks. Happy Aloha
Bye.
Friday.
Happy Aloha Friday.
Thanks, Annalisa. Bye-bye.
Bye.